Herzlich willkommen, liebe Zuschauerinnen und liebe Zuschauer, zu einem weiteren Gespräch in meinem Kongress Verlorene Identität. Wer bin ich wirklich? Ich freue mich sehr, dass ihr alle da seid. Seid offen für neue Impulse, Inspirationen auf eurem Weg zu eurem Selbst. Wir fangen an mit den Quick Shots und dann kommen wir zu der Vorstellung. A moment in... Oh, ich muss noch ganz kurz erwähnen, bevor ich das anfange. Wir machen das Interview auf Englisch. Ihr bekommt Subtitles, also Untertitel, dass du das auch alles sehen kannst. So, fangen wir mit den Quickshots an. A moment in my life when I felt completely lost was...
Well,
Off you go, Renata.
well, I think it's an odd thing to say, but it was my 30th birthday. And I knew I was living a life that wasn't mine to live, but I did not know how to change it.
Okay.
And you?
Yeah, well, I was a taxi driver, all right, and I was in Canada, and I was not doing what my soul needed to do. And I had tried many professions, tried many occupations, and I suddenly realized that actually what I needed to do was to do my vocation, which was in medicine. And so I stopped living in Canada. I had left my wife, I left my child there, and I came back to England and I studied acupuncture and I became an acupuncturist. And that was the big change, you know, a message from the sky. Yep.
Okay. What helped me back then was...
Well, in many ways, we have very similar paths. I think that's why we get on so well, being together, having been together for 35 years now. But anyway, on this 30th birthday, my husband and my family had organized, my first husband had organized a big birthday party. And, you know, you smile and you put on a face, you know. And I went to the toilet, and as I stood washing my hands, I looked in the mirror and I saw this strange face looking at me, and I heard this voice as clear as crystal. If you keep going in this marriage, you'll be dead in 5 years. And, you know, I was like shocked. So I left the toilet in a shock. But half a year later, I was divorced. And I knew that the lie that I was living, I couldn't continue with that. That wasn't me. So powerful message from Spirit, yeah.
So you know you're living a lie, don't you? You know, like I knew I was living a lie on the life sense of being married to a woman who didn't want to be with me, and to be going forward in a life that wasn't going forward for me. And I just ran out into the woods and I called up to Spirit. I said, "Hey, Spirit, what am I meant to do?" And this message came loud and clear: go back to England and study medicine. I went running back to the van where they were waiting for me, and I said, "I'm not coming with you. I'm not going to do this. I'm going back to England. I'm going to study medicine." And I did. And that was the change of life path. You know, and I can see when I hear Renata's story, I can see how parallel they were. We were both living in a relationship that was not true to ourselves. So we had to find that together. You know, we had to find it on our own. Really, we are on our own, aren't we? Yeah. So we found it on our own, and yet we're together finding it on our own. And it's a day-to-day thing. We're still finding it on our own, together, as a team. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh. It's a strong team.
Thank you. A truth about myself that I came to understand was.
Well, and it's all connected with this moment in the toilet. Odd place really for enlightenment, but that's how it was. I understood that all throughout the 10 years I was married to my first husband, I kept saying to my mother, I want true love. And she kept saying to me, what you want doesn't exist. And I said, but I know it does exist. I'm not living it at the moment. And my biggest insight from that was that to me, finding true love was more important than wealth, than status, than having all the commodities of a very privileged life. It didn't feel that really deep emptiness within. And that became bigger and bigger and bigger until I couldn't take it anymore. Yeah. Difficult things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think growth is a strong subject, isn't it? You've got to be courageous to grow. You've got to be courageous to step, this whole thing is about identity. To find your identity, you've got to step out of the norm. And what people expect of you to be, got to step out of that and step into much more of a risky part of your life. It's a risky step. When I hear Renata saying what she said, that, that's got connotations into our lives now. It was a big risk to take, to step from that material pathway into the soul pathway. It's a big step. You've got to be courageous, you've got to look at it, face it right in the face, like Renata saw it in the mirror.
Yeah, and I think there's another point to it too. You have to be really courageous. Because I think most people are aware that they are living a lie. They are not living who they truly are, but they are so scared. They are scared of the judgment of their peers, the society they live in. I had it all. But that was so much stronger, and I wish that really for everyone. And that desire would become so strong that they need to follow through on what they really need to do.
But there's an interesting message here, because society teaches us that if we step out of line, we will not be supported. Right? That's the message. If you go for your own identity, you will not be supported. But what we've found is that Mother Earth always supports us. That we are always having a home, and we do have food in the larder, and we are supported. Yeah.
The last quick question, positive energy. What gives me the most strength and joy in life today is
consistently seeking my inner wisdom every day. Consistently. It's not something, it's like washing your teeth. It's not something you do once a week. For me, it's every day focusing on my inner wisdom. What I know, not what I believe, what I know inside me. Yeah. You?
I think for me, as a mother, it gives me so much joy to see my children growing into such beautiful people, and I'm just thinking, wow, they are living who they are. And we have never told them, you have to be this, you have to be that, you can't do this. They had always had the freedom to do what they wanted, to follow what they wanted. And then I think for me, it's also to know that I can be useful. I can help. I have gone through so much in my life, I have earned that badge to say, look, I can help you maybe, you know. And that's a fulfillment. That's something that fills me. Yeah.
You've earned this, Rose.
Thank you so much for the first step. And we're coming now to, I want to say some words and introduce you. And I made this in German because the most of the people they are looking now here, they are German, but we have the subtitle. Also, ich freue mich riesig, heute zwei Menschen ganz herzlich begrüßen zu dürfen, die nicht nur mit der Erde und ihren Rhythmen tief verbunden sind, sondern auch mit dem Herzschlag des Lebens selbst. Renata und Stephen Ash, ihre Arbeit mit der School of Sacred Drumming und das Programm Medizinweg, finde deinen Weg in einer verrückten Welt, berührt zutiefst, denn sie erinnern uns daran, dass wir alle auf einem heiligen Weg sind. Mit dem Medizinrat als Kompass und der heiligen Trommel als Stimme der Ahnen schenken sie uns Orientierung, Verbindung und Heilung. Ihre Karten sind eine kraftvolle Möglichkeit als Werkzeug einzusetzen, um Antwort im Inneren zu finden, geführt von Klang, Atmen und Herzschlag. In meinem Kongress geht es natürlich darum, individuelle, persönliche Wege sichtbar zu machen. Und wir haben in den Quickshops so einiges schon gehört. Aber auch Wege durch die Krise, durch Wandlungsphasen, durch innere Prüfungen. Und deshalb freue ich mich wirklich sehr, Renata und Stephen heute im Interview zu hören, ihren Weg zu hören, ihre Herausforderungen zu hören, wie sie es gemeistert haben, wie diese Herausforderungen für sie vielleicht am Anfang schwierig waren, aber später dann eine Fügung waren und wie sie diesen Weg gefunden haben und was sie dabei gelernt haben und was sie getragen hat. Ganz, ganz herzlich willkommen, Renata und Stephen. A very, very heartily welcome.
Thank you, Maritta, for having
Thank
us.
you, Maritta.
Thank you. We enjoy being here with you.
Thank you so much. We are starting now with the question, with the interview. What does the topic of identity lost personality means to you?
Giving your power away as a human being. Because, I mean, every human being is unique. There's not one human being that is the same as another. And yet we're made from the same materials, carbon, hydrogen, calcium, the same ingredients, the same elements. And yet somehow our being, our bodies carry this other nature, which is really strong.
Mhm.
But society and education steers us towards being normal. But no one knows what normal is. So you sell yourself to normal. You sell your identity away. And you go through life, and life goes very fast. Until you get near the end of life, like I'm in my 70s. Renata's a bit younger than me. But, you get to this point and you realize, well, what have I done? Have I really lived my identity? Have I really daily been in that place of, Stephen, who are you? What are you? How are you doing as a human being? And for us in our work, that's what is the essential ingredient, is that if people come into our circle, it's like, come on, you're the same as me and yet you're different.
Mhm.
What is your difference? Are you proud of that or are you ashamed of that?
Mhm.
So we're learning to let go of shame,
Mhm.
learning to let go of ignorance.
I think for me, a loss of identity happened because I was so eager to please. I wanted to be loved, and I have always been a vivacious child, but I should have become an actress, maybe. I don't know. But it was always there, this desire to express. And when you are told, be quiet, or no, that, you can't say that, you can't do this, you suppress that part of you. But that's an essential part of me, to be like this, to love to inspire people, to love to, have an interaction that is fun, that is beautiful. So I think that's one of the first reasons why we lose our true nature, why we forget who we are, because we want to please. And from childhood on, there is this need. We need to be loved in order to live, to survive. So for me, it was very much that. I was a very, very pliable, very good child. But inside, no, I was more that person, that child that always wanted something, different, always the same is boring, I need change. That wasn't really encouraged. It took me a long time to understand that. And even a longer time to get to the point that I said, well, I'm never going to be loved by everyone.
Right.
But it's important that I love myself. That's the most important thing. And I can't love myself when I'm not authentic, when I know I'm lying. Yeah.
And it's a process. It's a process to come to the point, to change, to see, to look inside. And it's so beautiful. Thank you so much, Renata, that you say that. And can you remember you said about the one point and the change? It was a process, but when it was the point to change?
Well, I think that big first change in my life was that I decided I had to leave my marriage.
Yeah.
And it sounds really maybe odd to people who are listening to this, but it was really painful to leave him because he was a good friend of mine and a beautiful person. But he wasn't the one who was meant to be with me, who I was meant to share my life with. So I had to go. And I did. And, it was all like, once I had made up my mind like that, it was like, yeah, what's the next step? I'm getting divorced. What's the next step? I'm leaving my hometown because there was really no life for me anymore. So I think once you are embarking on that path of listening to your soul, because I think in that toilet, it was my soul speaking. And you've got to change this. This is not who you are meant to be. This is not where you are meant to be. Then you learn to listen to the messages. You don't get it right every time. Sometimes, the ego mind is more convincing. But the more we listen, the more we have the courage to give that voice room, that quiet voice, the more we become convinced that we are not alone. We have real guidance. And this is what I think, carries us through then. Because following the messages of your soul doesn't mean that your life becomes easy. It's not. But it's a life in which you grow. And that's the important thing. Yeah. Would you agree?
I would agree. Not an easy journey, but it's the real journey. to find your identity, as I think especially as being the same as everyone else in true essence, that we are speaking to you and we're speaking to other people who are going to be listening. And each one of these people are exactly the same as me and Renata. And we're all on a journey. So it doesn't matter what human being you're talking to, they're all the same as you. And yet they're all different. And they're all on a path, on a medicine path. Their medicine path is their own medicine. It's not a medicine as a pill, it's a medicine as a pathway of life. That's the medicine. And that finding the identity is the central core. You can't do it as a false person. Halt, it says on the Autobahn. Halt, don't come in here. It's the wrong way to go. Yeah.
Yeah. You know that we all come in with, Stephen is talking, everyone is the same, and that's a big lesson to learn, isn't it? That we all are in this together, you know. We affect the environment around us, we affect, in fact, I think we have an effect on all life, you know. But do then understand that within that oneness, you have come in with special talents that only, you know, the talents I have, that's me, that combination is uniquely me. And I do believe that there is a kind of a plan, a tapestry that's woven with each human being part of it, and maybe all the animals too. And, you know, I have my color, my thread in that weaving has a specific color. And if that's not there, something is missing. Same with you, you know, same with you. It's finding that uniqueness within the oneness, I think. Yeah.
And I think that reflects in the way we work. You know, when we see all the different subjects that we put together to make the whole School of Sacred Drumming, it contains Renata's ceremonies, it contains ceremony as the core, it contains honouring, it contains every human being in the circle finding that they are the centre of their own universe, centre of their own responsibility, centre of their own life. And a child comes into the world knowing that they are the centre of the universe. And then the world tells them, hey, wait a sec, that's not true. You know? But actually we have to come back to finding, hey, I'm in the centre of my own universe sitting here. You know, I might be part of a bigger group of humanity, but I'm in the centre of my own universe. And that's the work really we teach, is that from that centre you can then stretch out your being with integrity. If you haven't got that centre, where is your integrity? You can't come from someone else's ideas. No way.
Yeah. And what helped you get through all the difficult situations? I heard trust. I heard, okay, it is my way, but can you explain it a little bit more? What is deep in your side in these situations?
Can I say something about that? Gently I walk upon the earth and gently I breathe the air. I sent a message to my son-in-law yesterday, and I said, you know, we go through ups and downs in life. Life has ups and downs, good times and bad times. And somehow I have to understand that during the good times, I stay the same as during the bad times. I stay what's real within me. If life is good, I stay in my reality. If life is bad, I stay in my reality. Because it's like walking. Your foot goes up and your foot goes down. You won't move forward unless you walk, going through the ups and downs of life. You've got to walk forwards, got to walk in the direction that something is leading you. What is leading you? Okay, but you've got to walk. And when you walk, you go through ups and downs. But you're still walking. It's the you inside you that stays the same throughout it all. The ups and downs are just things that externally happen, and everyone has ups and downs. Everyone gets depressed and everyone gets overjoyful. Everyone has a good day and everyone has a bad day. But what is consistent underneath all of that? What is consistent? And that's how I deal with it. To deal with it as well. Just that.
Tack Gud.
Yeah, I have often wondered what kept me going, and I think there is a knowing that nothing stays the same. You know, that there are bad times, there are difficult times, and then there are good times. There are rich times, and then there are poor times. There are healthy times, and then there are times when I'm not so healthy. And you know what taught me that was the medicine wheel. Because it just goes from winter to spring to summer to autumn and to winter again, you know. And each of those directions has a quality, you know, like in the winter is austere. I mean, you know what the winter is like, nothing grows, you know, it's all pretty dull most of the time, you know. Yet underneath the snow and the frozen earth, things are already starting to grow. So the same in my life, you know, I might be in a really shitty place to call it. That's what it is. That's the truth. And I'm not mincing my words here. Maybe in a really difficult place, but my life is moving. As long as I'm alive, I'm moving. And I will come out of this winter in my life, and there will be a new beginning, and there will be a new growth, and the sun will shine, and new opportunities will come, and my body will heal. You know, and in the same way, when I'm in the summer and everything is incredibly buoyant and incredibly abundant and full, I have to be aware that I'm not staying in that place forever. You know, I'm going into the autumn of my life. And from there I go into another winter. But if I can really accept that, understand that, align myself with that rhythm, then I think I'm living an easier life.
We base all our work on very foundational teachings, like the medicine wheel teachings and honoring teachings. You know, the foundation of native First Nation medicine of North America or South America or Siberia, wherever indigenous medicine comes from, is the medicine wheel. And when you go into traditional Chinese medicine, the first law of Chinese medicine is man stands between heaven and earth. That is, Sky Father and Mother Earth are centered in here. So these truths, these basic foundational truths, are what we base our work on. But we say, look, no, we're not pretending to be Native Americans, and we're not pretending to be Chinese. We're indigenous to here, to this piece of land, to these bodies. So what can we blend from the wisdom and knowledge of different cultures that have these incredible foundations? What can we put together that is contemporary to now living in 2025?
Yes.
What can we put together that is real, it's truthful, it's authentic, it's got personal integrity? I don't try and pretend. Renata doesn't try and pretend. Maritta doesn't try and pretend. What are we really, as human beings, doing with our lives? Being with our lives. So it comes right down to this moment in time. Yeah, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Got to
The
be
moment in time.
real.
That's so true. Thank you so much. That's so perfect. But look, what step, what first step do you recommend for people who feel lost themselves? What do you say to them? What can I do now? The first step.
Brush your teeth. Okay.
It's always a good start.
Yeah, brush your teeth. Because you've got to get into good habits. Okay, brush your teeth. If you brush your teeth every day, then you have good mouth hygiene. Okay. Now, what about spiritual hygiene? Okay, so now we say, okay, meditate every day. Okay, use basic tools that you know work, that the ancient people have told us. Let's say like smudging, or praying to the medicine wheel, or gratitude, just feeling grateful for what you've got. Let go of what you want and be grateful for what you've got. Kind of disciplining the mind that's had so much conditioning, so much expectations. That part of us now needs to be more under control. The only person who can do it is me for me. It's self-discipline. So it comes back to washing your teeth.
Stephen,
Yeah, okay.
we have. He's
You
in
can
his
have it.
element now. He's stealing little
He's got
bits
my
and
list.
pieces. And he then dismantles. He's
Yeah,
so
he's
funny.
fine.
Yeah. He's very young, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's learning manners, but he do that.
He's doing great.
So what you hear in the background is him tearing up our papers.
Perfect. He's living time, just in time.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it's
You know, I think when you are in that situation, for me, the most important thing is to find something that I can hold on to. You know, that I don't feel I am so lost that there's nothing for me anymore. And I think a lot of people feel like that, you know. So, for instance, if someone would want that, they could join a circle that has that serves as a container for them, you know, where they can feel safe. So again, for me, that would be a circle based on the medicine wheel, you know, so that gradually they can say it's okay where I am, because it just is a message. It tells me something about my life that I need to change. And then begins maybe that inquiry. And you know, and if you have a friend who can help you with that. Sometimes friends are not so good because they have sort of preconceived ideas. That's how you should be, or that's who you are. So maybe find someone who is neutral. And you can just remember maybe, how was I as a child? I keep going back to that because so much of their suffering is actually has its foundation in childhood. You know, so who would I have really wanted to be? And what can I do now to, what small steps can I take to get to that, to allow that child within me the expression it wants? Because the child is truthful, you know, it's just full of fear, has had a lot of painful experiences, you know, it feels insecure and unsafe. So, you know, I agree with Stephen, there's got to come a routine For me, that routine is also do not give yourself a hard time. Allow yourself to be and just keep the determination to, I'm working on this. I'm going to get behind what is the reason for me feeling the way I do.
Yeah.
Where do I give my power away? And how can I change that? And then we come into this very tricky theme of finding the courage to speak my truth. And that's a difficult one. And to accept that sometimes when I speak my truth, I shoot over the limit, I go overboard because there's so much that will come up. But then to accept that and let that be part of like a stepping stone. This is how I learned to find myself, my true self. Yeah, I would think that that's what I would say to someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, find a place where you can be safe and held whilst you're going through this. And it'll end. You come out of it. Yeah.
It's all inside, isn't it? The happiness, the peace, the joy,
Yeah.
the conditioning, it's all inside. It's all inside this. And we carry this energy packet, and we can send this energy packet wherever we like, but it's all inside this. We carry our lives with us wherever we go. So,
That's true.
it's a process of unlearning one set and relearning another set, and that's personal choice. That's personal choice. Everyone has personal choice. Like people listening to this, they have personal choice at the moment of listening to this, saying, is this rubbish or is this real?
Mm-hmm.
It's in the moment, and everyone's got that in the moment happening. So find the best tools you can. Don't shortchange yourself on the quality of the tools. Get the best tools.
And don't take but for an answer.
No.
That was something that our spiritual indigenous grandfather Wallace used to say, a but is something you can sit on.
Mm-hmm.
And the but is the greatest hindrance to you finding your path. I would love to do that, but I can't. And that's perhaps where I would like to also touch on a theme that is for many people really difficult, and that's prayer. You can't do it on your own steam, under your own steam. It's bigger than that. And for me, when I say prayer, people always go, "Ooh, I don't know," But for me, the way I see prayer, it's just a communication with a power that is so much bigger than me, and that has the ability to help me. Where I am stuck, where I can't go any further, there is this power. And if we can just have a conversation with it, just like we are talking now. Look, I am really in a difficult situation. Show me what I can do. Show me the next step.
But it's biofeedback, isn't it? Because that power is external, but it's inside you, so it's self-talk at the same time. That's what's beautiful. It's not like you're dealing with an external God only. The internal God is the one that needs to be recognized, needs to be fed, needs to be nurtured. But how do we distinguish between the internal God and the part that wants to make you jump off the cliff or jump in front of the train? because those two parts are going on inside everyone, you know. Find the distinction. And that's an amazing journey for all of us, isn't it? I mean, that's the journey that this is all about. This is what we're talking about, identity. Is it coming from the God or the goddess?
We're coming back full circle, isn't it? To ourselves, and who are we? Who am I? Am I just this? Or what else? You know, is there something else? It's this lovely saying, isn't it? We are not a body with a soul. We are a soul in a body.
Right.
You know, so potentially, if we can live it, we are huge. Yeah.
And you know, Maritta, hard times come for a reason. You know, we go back to the way we work together. We work with sacred drumming. And that goes back to a time when we met Grandfather Wallace Black Elk. And he adopted us as his spiritual grandchildren because something happened. Something happened in the relationship between Grandfather Wallace, Renata, and myself, where he brought us into his life and he said, look, I'll be your guide. Okay, I will help you in the next step, in the next chapter of your lives. But at the time when he did that, our lives were really, really tough. Really, we were right down at the bottom. And it was as if this teacher picked us up and just gave us that little nudge, that little push in the right direction. And here we are all these years later. That was in what, 1998? You know, all these years later, and we're running the School of Sacred Drumming, where we're using the drum to measure the heartbeat and the breath and the natural rhythms of our body so that we can communicate more freely, more lovingly with the nature around us and with each other.
Yeah.
So drum is a way of marking. Drum is a way of marking the way you breathe and the way you live as a human being. It's very fundamental.
Yes.
Very fundamental.
It's a
This
different.
is sorry.
It's a different way of drumming entirely. You know, it's drumming to the within or with the within. You know, it's not djembe, which is fun. It's great fun, you know, or I don't know, a drummer in a band. You know, it's entertainment. You go inside. And
this is my question: how do you support others today to going through some processes? And can you give me a little bit more details that I can have a picture from that?
So when someone comes to study with us, to learn with us, we always begin by helping them to make their own drum. And this sounds so simple, but I tell you, Maritta, it's life-changing. Because we make beautiful, different drums. That's what I was trying to say. You know, they are two-sided. And what we are making when we make this drum, we work with our masculine and with our feminine side. Because this is what we have here. And we bring that into balance. And through some process, some alchemy that I haven't understand yet myself, but it happens every time, fears come up, memories come up, you know, and there's an opportunity to clear those, to go through a fear. You know, someone, when they handle the wet skin, they have this fear of death. They think, oh, you know. But when they go through and when they see actually that out of two dead things, the skins are dead, the frame of the drum is dead. Through a magical process of putting their energy in, working with who they are, they create something new. A drum that comes alive. And you can hear it and see it when the drum comes alive. So it becomes spirited. Spirit comes into the drum, and the spirit is me and maybe the deer that gave the skin, and the frame, the tree from which the frame comes. So something is born. So there is never, death is temporary. There's always something new that comes out of it, some rebirth. And I think just to know that is incredibly powerful. That rebirth, it doesn't matter whether it's in which arena of my life that is, but there is rebirth.
It's really lovely hearing Renata talk about this, because of the two of us, I'm much more the sort of a shamanic side of things. I always have been. That's just the way it is. And Renata is not. She's not like a shaman, but she is. In a way, she's much more true to that shaman nature, because it's just the real soul coming through. Like when Renata does ceremonies, there's such a sacred power when she does it, but it's so almost private. It's not like a big public show. It's a strong, contained energy that you can't help but feel reverence with. And I think really that's what people need to know, that it's not a religion. This is not a religion. This is humanity finding humanity. Like, what have we got, us humans, that is different to what other animals can give, or other trees? Because all of life around us has purpose. But what is our purpose? Our purpose for me, because I can only talk for me, is to feel a connection with my world and feel grateful, and to feel as if my real soul wants to have communication. And it can happen from here. And this is where drum is such a wonderful tool, because drum is a measurement of the heartbeat. Yeah? And it's the measurement of the natural rhythms that we have.
That's how we work it.
That's how we work it.
Yeah.
But you'll find that most indigenous peoples use the drum in this way. That it's like the medicine wheel. No one, there's not one culture that hasn't got the medicine wheel deep down in its culture. Every culture has. Our culture here is the Celtic vision, and it's deep down in the earth, and we're bringing it out of the earth with the ancestral energy, drawing it up out of the earth, like the trees are doing through their roots.
But what it means is that every person has a connection to it. It is in our genetic makeup. Yeah. And that's why I think it's so important to remember those truths.
Yeah, these truths. Yeah. And so what we're doing is we're only talking about that which already people know. We're just helping people remember who they are, so that they can step into their identity and go, hey, it's okay me being me.
I think if you ever have felt that power that comes in, that is not can't be directed by us. It comes in because that's what this sacred power does. But if you've ever felt that, you are not going to feel alone that much. You know that there is something that is so rich and so full and so powerful to help you through. Yes. And in my feeling is that anyone who feels lost, once they have gotten a taste of that, doesn't matter what we call it, God, spirit, ancestors,
Right.
angels, doesn't matter, but to feel that. And
Well, inside you.
at its core, it's love. It's just unconditional love. I don't need to do anything to be loved.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't do anything to be not loved. That's equally important.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to understand that, and this is the truth, that you can feel that.
To feel it. Because in my experiences, I mean, I understand so much in my head, a very heady person. But the moment it lands from the head in here, that's when I can live it. I can't live it from up there because it's mostly theory. I think I know it, but I know it when I feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a very perfect sense. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And another question. What would you say to your former self today?
Oh, oh, I would hug her and cuddle her and say, thank you for taking me on this path. And thank you for having the courage to do what you did. Because if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here. And I would probably be a miserable old woman, resentful, angry with myself, angry with the world. I'm not.
Angry with me.
I'm not. Well, you were not there. you came in because my soul, my former self was so courageous.
I would say the
That's what you
same. It's thank you, because I've seen me through all these different circumstances, and I like the me that's arrived here. I like the me that's having a conversation with you. I like the quiet part of me. I like the explaining part of me. I like the child in me, because I've negotiated. And I think the word we've lost here is negotiation. I have to negotiate with my truth all the time. I have to negotiate, like Renata said something this morning, and it took me a while to negotiate what she said. But I negotiated, I worked around it so that here I can be really me, because this is me and I like me. So I'd say to my former self, all those 73 years of going back to my little tiny child inside my mother's womb, I'll say, hey, thank you for bringing me up through all this to be sitting here, alive now. That's good. That's good.
I like it too, by the way.
Oh, thank you, because I like you too.
So much to be grateful for.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
someone else we're grateful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
cute.
nice. Oh, yeah, he likes to be on TV as well. He wants to be on,
Yeah, I see that.
he wants to be interviewed.
You want that. So, is there a quote or a phrase or any image that reminds you on your essence?
Hmm. You want to go first?
No, you go first.
Okay.
Hear the
Oh, no,
question.
okay. It's a quote or a word that reminds you of your essence. You had one.
Yeah, Socrates. Know thyself. Know thyself. My teacher says that often. Know thyself. And really, this is what this whole thing has been about, this whole conversation about identity, is Stephen, know thyself. So if there's anything, that's that, really.
Have you ever heard about kintsugi?
No.
No. Well, it comes from the Japanese, And if you allow me, I would like to tell a tiny little story around that, because I think it fits perfectly. So once upon a time, there was a famous Japanese warrior, and he had a favorite tea bowl. And one day it broke. And he was searching for someone who could mend the bowl, because it was his favorite tea bowl. And he found the craftsman, and he gave the bowl to the broken bits to that guy. And when he brought the bowl back, it was ugly. It was horrible. And he was so dismayed, to see all the beauty that the bowl was destroyed. And so he kept searching. He kept searching for a person who could restore the bowl to its former beauty. And eventually he found a master. And the master said, I think I can help you. And when he brought the bowl back to the warrior bowed and he said, thank you. Because what the master had done was he had filled all the cracks with gold. So the bowl was radiant, and it wasn't pretending to be what it had been. It was in fact much more beautiful. Mm-hmm. And this is, for me, when I heard this story, I cried actually, because life has broken me many times. Grief, pain, disappointment, ill health, you name it. We are being broken, but not broken in the sense of destroyed. We are broken open, and we can mend these broken bits with love, with forgiveness, with trust, with courage, with a willingness to change. All these beautiful attributes. And when we forgive someone, we fill a crack with gold. When we dare to be ourselves, to speak our truth, that's also a time when we fill the crack with gold. And what happens is we are not less than we used to be. We are more. Because all those experiences that seemingly broke us, they have made us more beautiful. If we've managed to heal that essential part in us. Yeah. I love this story.
I invite golden light into the earth through me.
Yeah.
Ich lade das goldenes Licht in die Erde durch mich.
He's so proud of his German.
Yes, the only things I know in German are a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, golden light.
Yeah. Do you want to say something more, Stephen, to that?
Well, actually, talking about the gold there is beautiful. That story is such a beautiful story. And one of the things we lost a child at one point. And very soon after losing the child, we were working on the energetics of the human body. And we discovered that the energy body had expanded, and we mapped out the expansion. This was 1991, okay, a long time ago. And the map we found was that we have these 13 chakras, and the top chakra is like a funnel for golden light. And so we created songs for this whole picture. And the song for that one at the top there, up above my head, is I invite golden light into the earth through me. And it's just beautiful to sing it and stand outside and pull the energy of the sky down through us.
Into the earth.
Because actually that's the function of a human being. That's a beautiful function, is to bring the energy down and spread it through the environment. And I wrote this after a meditation the other day. I wrote these few words, and it says, our measure of success is in our contribution and our connection to the web of existence. That's our measure of success. It's not, have we got a doctorate? Have we got a fast car? Have we got a big house? But how much do we contribute to existence, to our existence and to your existence? How much do we contribute?
And to the world,
To the world,
to humanity.
you know.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And you know what, Maritta? When we mapped out this chakra system, and everyone actually told us we were completely nuts. And now everyone knows that there are more than 7 chakras, you know. At the time in 1991, it was like, oh, they are, you know. But anyway, when we did that, we had come to find 12 chakras, you know, and certainly we thought, oh, that must be enough. But Stephen, we used dowsing. Stephen is a brilliant dowser, so he was dowsing. And the rods crossed over the area of the heart. So we had already got 2 centers there instead of the one, the green one, the only one. We had the green one and the pink one, which is the place of the inner child. So what could there be? And it was Stephen's 40th birthday party, and a friend whom, well, it's a long story, a friend knocked at the door, and in her hands she had a bunch of wild sweet peas that are this vibrant, deep magenta color.
Wow.
We brought pretty much, yeah. We put those flowers in a vase, put them on the table in the place above the pink of the heart, and the dowsing rods went this. They were straight, sorry. They just went through. It was like
A
a
knife
knife through butter, a hot knife through butter. And you know what that center is? What that chakra is?
No.
Unconditional love.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you so much
you're welcome.
for telling on that.
Yeah.
So, I have so many energy now.
Yeah, well,
To stand on the earth.
Yes, I feel that. So, and it's true. So it's really beautiful. I can say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being here to tell us that all and your experience, your life, your situations and everything. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And we must come to the end. And I will say to the audience, ich danke euch wirklich auch natürlich von Herzen für für euer Dabeisein und ja, dieses spannende Interview zu verfolgen. Und vielleicht konntet ihr auch jetzt hier wieder etwas mitnehmen, ein Gedanken, ein Gefühl oder einfach ein Blick anders auf die Dinge, wie es auch aussehen könnte. Und mir bleibt nur zu sagen, bleibt wertvoll für dich selber, für andere und bis bald auf ein weiteres Interview in diesem Kongress Verlorene Identität. Wer bin ich wirklich? Ganz herzlichen Dank an euch beide.
Thank
Danke.
thank you.